I started to know something was amiss when I saw police officers holding guns hunched behind vans like a scene out of a movie.
A freelance journalist describing the scene in Paris after 8 attackers stormed 6 sites, killing dozens of people. It's been less than 24 hours since the deadly attacks in France's capital. And this morning, we're learning who may be responsible. Just a short time ago, France's president blamed the attacks on ISIS. And ISIS is indeed claiming responsibility. They posted a statement online. Officials say more than 150 people have died. However, the death toll is expected to rise.
It is the deadliest violence to strike France since World War II. Right now, France's borders remain shut down as police step up security. France is under a state of emergency. Since last night, we have learned that 8 attackers are dead. The Paris prosecutor's office says that 7 of them died in suicide bombings, and the 8th attacker was killed by security forces when they raided a concert hall. A Syrian passport was found on the body of one of the suicide bombers at the Paris stadium.
Officials in France say it's possible that there are still terrorists at large. And right now, some 1,500 extra soldiers have been mobilized to guard French facilities. Schools and universities in France are closed today. Many of them are usually open on Saturdays there. And also closed today, Disneyland Paris. It's one of Europe's largest tourist attractions.
The most bloodshed was at that concert hall we mentioned earlier. The concert hall was hosting an American rock band. Officials say dozens of people were held hostage as attackers hurled explosives at them.
Police say 11 people were also killed in a Paris restaurant in their 10th district, and at least 3 people died when bombs went off outside of a stadium. Countries around the world are upping their security measures following the deadly attacks in Paris. And 24-Hour News 8's Kendall Pectus is at the live desk with more information. Kendall?
Of course, with a major tragedy like this comes a lot of concern both locally and internationally. World leaders around the globe are reacting by condemning the attacks and standing by France. Germany's foreign minister referred to the attacks in Paris as an inferno of terror. Germany is willing to help France with the help of its anti-terror unit, along with the aid of the German special forces. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel stands shoulder to shoulder with France in the war against terrorism. Many nations are also on high alert today in hopes of keeping their citizens as safe as possible. Officials in the Czech Republic say there's a large police presence at all its international airports, shopping malls, and at the French embassy. The Philippines has also heightened its security at airports, seaports, train stations, and other public operations. And here at home, while there have been no specific threats against the U.S. since the attack in France, officials aren't taking any chances. Security has been beefed up around Capitol Hill. As our nation's seat of power, the Hill is always protected, but when terrorist attacks take place anywhere in the world, that protection is upgraded just in case. And New York Governor Andrew Cuomo called the attacks senseless and cowardly. He says his state will stand with the people of France just as they have done for us in our own times of tragedy. Governor Cuomo also directed the lights of the World Trade Center to be lit up blue, white, and red as a sign of solidarity in wake of these attacks. At the live desk, Kendall Pectus, 24-Hour News 8.
Thanks, Kendall, for that report. And be sure to stay with 24-Hour News 8 for continuing coverage on the Paris attacks. We'll have much more on the situation there throughout the hour. And coming up at 5:30, hear from a woman from West Michigan who was near one of the hostage situations in Paris last night.